planning for many, many months. My name is Liz Thomas. I am a small business owner who came to know the Salvation Army while opening the door of a local diner to find Major Paul Kane and Steve Dixon on the other side of it. Since that time, many years ago, I have become a Camden Kroc supporter and the head cheerleader, who was then asked to serve as chair of the Camden Kroc 10th Anniversary Committee. Today, we will highlight the Kroc Center's numerous contributions to the city and the region, and more importantly, outline the incredible activities scheduled to occur over the next few days, with an emphasis on our free, family-friendly, fun event scheduled for Saturday from 10 to 3, followed by our church rededication behind me, fellowship meal, and screening of our documentary on Sunday from 10 to 2. Many of you know this already, but the 128,000 square foot Camden Kroc Center facility has served the city of Camden and the greater region as a beacon of hope over the past decade, welcoming more than 2.5 million visitors. Our volunteer ranks have donated more than 125,000 service hours. I am pleased to invite Majors Richard and Lolita Sanchez, administrators of the Kroc Center, to step forward and lead us in a brief opening prayer and offer some remarks.
Thank you, Liz. It's so good to be here. It's so good to be with all of you. And we just want to open this time with a word of prayer. Let's pray together. Today, we gather our hearts filled with gratitude as we rededicate the Kroc Center. After 10 years of blessings and growth, we thank you for the faithfulness, for the love shared within these walls, and for the countless lives touched through your grace. As we reflect on the journey of the past decade, we acknowledge the triumphs as well as the trials. They have shaped us. We celebrate the moments of worship, the fellowship shared, and the outreach that has brought hope to our community. Lord, we ask your continued presence in this sacred space. May it remain a refuge for the weary, a place of healing for the broken, and a beacon of light in your world. Empower us through your Holy Spirit to carry forth your mission. Thank you to those who have sacrificed of their time, their talent, and their treasure to honor the Salvation Army in this special way. Bless our time together. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
I'm going to move because
Okay. Thank you, honey. Appreciate that. It is a pleasure. The day has finally come, and you guys don't know. Some of my staff definitely do know that it has been months, at least for the Sanchez's, because we arrived here in 2023. But now it's my absolute privilege to welcome you all to Camden Kroc Center's 10th anniversary kickoff. Now today, we celebrate a decade of impact, 10 years of serving our community with a foundation built on values such as faith, family, fitness, food, and fellowship. Now, I have a couple of more things to add, but just want to focus on faith for just a few seconds. Now, faith has always been at the heart of everything that we do here at Camden Kroc Center. You know, our mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and meet human needs in His name without discrimination. Now, over the years, we've created a space where people can connect not just with each other, but with Jesus. A place where spiritual guidance, prayer, and support have positively impacted countless lives. Through our chapel services, prayer groups, and community outreach, we've shared the love of God and seen it take root in our neighborhood. Our officers and soldiers extend the love of God every day in meaningful ways. Even today, the Salvation Army is out in areas impacted by Hurricane Helene. And our trained volunteers from Camden will have the opportunity to join our EDS team, serving as emotional and spiritual care officers, being deployed from all around our National Salvation Army network. The second F is family. And we talk about our deep commitment to nurturing the future generation. This center has provided safe, enriching environments for children through our after-school programs, swim lessons, youth camps. We're proud to say that families have found a second home here, where parents can trust their children are learning, growing, and thriving. Families receive help during the holidays via our Angel Tree program, which provides, last year, 7,000 gifts for 3,000 to 35,000 or 3,500 children in need, and holiday food drives to ensure that no family goes without a meal. Now, the Camden Kroc Center is not just a building. It's a place where families come together from all walks of life, and they lift one another up and build bonds that last a lifetime. Then there's fitness. Now, over the last decade, we've empowered thousands of individuals to take control of their health and well-being. From our fitness center to our aquatic programs, we've helped community members reach new heights in their physical fitness. We believe that a healthy body supports a healthy mind and spirit. And our programs have helped people of all ages stay active, whether through swim teams, fitness classes, or simply having a place to get moving. The fourth F is food. And that's a basic need, but at the Camden Kroc Center, it's also a way we show love and care for the community. Over the past 10 years, we have provided over 1 million pounds of food. Our food programs not only address hunger, but also offer hope, ensuring that no one in the community has to go without. We're dedicated to fighting food insecurity head on and offering nourishment not only for the body, but for the soul. And lastly, but certainly not least, we celebrate fellowship and fun, and I want to add friends. And a few of our friends, our partners, our community agencies, and even government support are going to come up and say a few words. But without them, without our friends, we are not here. Now, this center has been a place where people come together, not just for the services, but to enjoy life with one another. So whether it's through community events, recreational programs, or simply a friendly smile at the front desk, the Camden Kroc is as a hub for relationships, joy, and shared experiences. From swim meets to family fun nights, we've seen our community come alive here. And it's that sense of togetherness that makes this place so special. So as we stand here today celebrating 10 years of faith, family, food, fitness, and fellowship, I want to begin to invite our friends to come on up and share their part of the Camden Kroc Center experience. And so I'm going to leave it in the hands of our MC, and she's going to introduce our next speakers.
Thank you, Major Richard and Major Lola, for your opening prayer. We have a number of things to get through in this program. We have a lot of people to thank, so just bear with me. I'll try to keep things moving. Before we move on to more speakers, I would like to take a moment and ask Ben Avadia to stop pacing, Dawn Garlick to stand up, Zach Moore to put down his camera, and Allison Hoensberger to step right up here so you can see who the people are who have put together these events over this weekend. This has been a 24/7 undertaking for the last many months, and they do not like to be singled out. They do not like the attention, but too bad, I got you. All right. One more round of applause. We have 2 event title sponsors that are bringing all of these festivities to us. U.S. Cold Storage, represented today by Paige Salvador, and you're going to hear from her. And our fabulous friends from Holman. So we have to thank them as well. All right. All right, let me keep going here. Beginning back to the small but mighty team who submitted a plan for this center around 2006 of what could be built right here on what was an abandoned landfill full of dirty dirt versus clean dirt. Some of you will get the joke. And lots of debris and lots of tires. Since then, the Kroc Center has been built, open, and exceeded everyone's expectation in terms of lives touched and services offered for all ages. This happened in great part thanks to the support and dedicated service of individuals who truly believed in our mission. Now, with great pleasure, I get to introduce some pretty important, very important people who will offer a perspective on the Salvation Army's work across the country and around the world. General Andre Cox became the 20th General Global Leader of the Salvation Army in August 2013. When the Camden Kroc Center was open, General Cox oversaw ministry in over 130 countries as head of the global movement. General Cox shared his ministry throughout his career with his wife, Commissioner Sylvia Fox, who was the world president of Women's Ministries. They retired from active service in 2018. Kindly give a round of applause to General Andre Cox and Commissioner Sylvia Cox, who come to us today from Switzerland.
Well, thank you. We count it a privilege to be part of this great celebration. Well, the Salvation Army is a real old lady. She's over 150, soon pushing 160 years old. And what's amazing is that for over 140 of those years, there has been a Salvation Army presence here in this community. But what a privilege it is to be able to serve. And what a brilliant idea I think God had in designing and deciding that this Salvation Army should come into existence. From very humble beginnings in the East End of London in 1865, the Salvation Army commenced as a tent ministry, serving some of the most deprived populations in the East End of London at that time. And I often wonder if William Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army, with his wife Catherine, were to return to our world today, what they would say. There is still a need for the Salvation Army. And it's a privilege for us to be serving officially in 134 countries all around the world at this present time. And many people, when they look at the Salvation Army, they really cannot figure out who or what we are. Are we a church? Are we a social welfare organization? Are we an emergency disaster response organization? And we have to say yes. We're all of that. And I actually quite like the fact that the lines are blurred. What drives the Salvation Army is clear, the mission to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ, but in equal measure to meet human need in his name without discrimination. And that mission is at the heart of who and what the Salvation Army is still today, working around the world. Now, in America, I guess probably the Kroc centers are the best place to get an understanding as to what the Salvation Army is, with the plethora of activities that take place in this building alone every day. That's what the Salvation Army is and what it's about, at the heart of communities. In many countries around the world, yes, we have social services. We run alcohol and drug rehabilitation programs. We house the elderly. In the developing world, we add to that schools, primary schools, secondary schools, even a university in Africa. And in addition to that, health care services, primary healthcare centers, hospitals in Africa. And I read once that if all faith-based organizations, churches included, were to withdraw from those services in the continent of Africa, many of them would collapse. So faith drives us, but it is to drive positive change and transformation in the world. And of course, in the States, you know far better than I, many of the programs of the Salvation Army, particularly in response to disaster, helping people recover. We've got teams at work as we speak here today, trying to support communities. But all of that we do in the name of Jesus Christ. And so it's a wonderful thing to be part of this celebration in a local community. This is real, with real people coming from the community in this free family celebration. And we look forward to being able to really rejoice together, because we know that each one of us is unique and precious in the sight of God. So thank you for the opportunity to be here, and may God bless you.
Thank you, General Cox. The road has not always been smooth nor easy for the Camden Kroc Center. And yet, in the face of many challenges, there was always a clear vision and belief in what this facility could do for the community. We would not be here today without the unwavering support from our friends within the New Jersey state government. Frank McLaughlin and I were talking about, we think we've been through 4 or 5 governors, 4 commissioners, I don't know, but everybody stayed the course. So we are fortunate to have a representative with us today from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, Assistant Commissioner David Hames, who will offer some remarks. Assistant Commissioner, would you join me at the podium?
Good morning, everybody. My name is David Hames. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Contaminated Site Remediation and Redevelopment Program at the DEP. I'm happy to be here today to help celebrate this 10-year anniversary of the opening of the Kroc Center. As I assume everybody here knows, until 10 years ago, this was an 86-acre garbage dump with materials just falling off into the Delaware, falling off into the Cooper River, and something needed to be done about that. In 2003, so it goes back 21 years, I hope I did the math right there, the department, the city of Camden, local stakeholders, all got together and designated the Kramer Hill Brownfield Development Area, or BDA. I'm going to hopefully not fall into too many acronyms during this talk here, and selected the Harrison Avenue landfill as the priority redevelopment site in that BDA. And again, the whole concept of the Brownfield Development Area is you get the community involved. You don't just have a developer come in and say, this is what I want to do. You get community involvement, and you find out what the people who are going to be living there want to have. So in 2006, The local Camden Salvation Army was awarded a $59 million grant commitment from the estate of Joan Kroc, and that's what spurred everything to really get going. There was investigations of the landfill that needed to happen, as well as surrounding areas. Also in 2006, EPA gave $200,000 in a brownfield site investigation grant, which the department used to start initiating some of those investigations. Yet another group, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, through the Hazardous Discharge Site Remediation Fund, I will say HDSRF later because it takes too long to say the full name, they provided a grant of $1.3 million to develop and implement the plan to start cleaning up and develop this site. In total, DEP and EDA provided $30 million in grants for the Kroc Center projects and the remediation of the landfill. EPA also gave another $1.6 million in brownfield grants to do additional work at the landfill. DEP, this is one of Frank's favorite stories, we spent another $4 million to clean up some hazardous waste that was happened upon during the investigation. 14,000 tons of industrial waste that was removed with that. And then the state's Natural Resource Damages Fund put forward another $48 million. And that money went towards closure of the balance of the landfill, and it created the 62-acre Kramer Hill Waterfront Park, the largest park in the city of Camden. The Kroc Center opened on October 4th, 2014, and the Kramer Hill Waterfront Park opened in 2021. The Kroc Center serves over 8,000 area residents with a food pantry, medical clinic, daycare, after-school care, adult care, world-class fitness center, swimming pool, indoor water park, education programs, social programs, and spiritual enrichment. Redevelopments such as this are a priority for the contaminated site remediation and redevelopment program. We've added that name, the redevelopment part. Frank and his group, they've done so much work in the last 20, 25 years with these BDAs. We figured it was time to finally give them some credit in the name of the program. The department, recently reopened the Brownfield Development Area program. We had, I apologize, I forgot the number. There were 19 or 20 of them that are out there. We've reopened the program to try and get more of these going. Again, it's been such a successful program. There's been so much development that's gone on, whether it's centers like this, a greenfield project up in central Jersey, some other areas that have been redeveloped. It's so beneficial to everybody. Why cleanup and redevelopment are important? You have economic development. You take blighted brownfield sites, you rehabilitate them, you create thousands of jobs, millions of dollars potentially in tax rateables. You can develop things such as the Kroc Center. You can develop things such as the Kramer Hill Park. There's environmental restoration and enhancements like open space, such as the park. There's flood mitigation efforts that go on, waterfront access. I know that's going on here in Camden, where there's additional efforts to get the waterfront opened up with more access. Sustainable development and lowering the carbon footprint with all the resilience measures and the climate change. Everybody's aware of the storm that just passed through down in the south through North Carolina. And redevelopment of brownfields it's smart growth that saves greenfields. You have this blighted property. Rather than knocking down some forested area to create the Kroc Center, they redeveloped an existing property. They got rid of the blight. They saved the greenfields. So we see it as a win-win all around. To date, the Brownfield Development Area Program has transformed over 1,000 acres of blighted brownfields in New Jersey and turned them into productive reuses that have created stronger and fairer communities. So building on the success of the Kroc Center redevelopment and the Kramer Hill BDA, the Camden Redevelopment Agency, one of our critical BDA partners for the last 20 years, has submitted another BDA application for the Federal Street Corridor in the East Camden neighborhood that is currently under review by Frank and his staff. So I'm going to do some thank yous. I'm going to kind of go in reverse order here. Ron Ronkowski is here. Ron, if you can stand up, please. He helped to manage the landfill closure. Whenever I have a landfill question, I always go to Ron. Greg Newman is here. Greg and I have worked together for 30 plus years at the department. He helped with all the soil remediations. Did Andy Sear show up? Andy was here. Andy Sear was involved in some of the initial investigations, just finding out where are things, what things do we have, how bad is the situation that we're going to try and clean up here. Miguel Garces is a retiree. He's come up from Delaware to be part of this. He was the construction manager. He was responsible for helping get rid of those 14,000 tons of hazardous waste. Ken Clue, where did Ken end up? Ken Clue is a former director. He was far more vital to this project than I was. I want to put credit where it's due. David Bean could not join us here. I believe he's fishing down in Florida probably. And he was responsible. He was the driving force. He worked in our Office of Natural Resource Restoration, and he was the driving force for getting the Creamer Hill Park put together. And last but definitely not least, I want to thank Frank McLaughlin. I've had to listen to Frank talk about all the work he's doing in Camden for the last 20 years. So if anybody is truly responsible for seeing this happen, it's Frank McLaughlin. I want to make sure people recognize who really did the work. I get to stand up here at the podium just because I happened to fall into the assistant commissioner chair a few years ago. But I really want to say that Ken Clue is the former director, Frank, Ron, Miguel, Greg, they're the hands-on people who really did the great job here. So really a great thank you to them. I also want to thank current and former mayors of Camden, the leaders of the Salvation Army, pointing in both directions here, the local residents, the nonprofits, all the folks who had a hand in helping make sure that this project was a success. So thank you as well for your partnership and the unwavering support the department has gotten in making sure this project reached its conclusion. So again, thank you all very much, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
I swore I wasn't going to say it takes a village, but I think I just had to say that. Joe Nardi, we have some friends, don't we? Where's Joe Nardi? Joe Nardi from the very early days of the Camden Kroc Center, from its inception to its opening. Where would we be without this team? Now it is my distinct honor to introduce the leader of the great city of Camden, Mayor Vic Karstafen. He is one of the Kroc Center's biggest supporters and an advocate for our work here in Camden and beyond. The mayor is always challenging us to dream bigger and to find more ways to do more things for Camden residents. Please welcome Mayor Karstafen to the podium.
Liz, you've been awesome today, Liz. Thank you so much. You even hold my proclamation. I appreciate that. Welcome, everybody, to the great city of Camden, New Jersey, and the vibrant Creamer Hill neighborhood, and the beautiful, as you all know, the beautiful Kroc Center. As I begin, I always like to recognize and our elected officials, special guests that are here, community stakeholders, and of course, our residents that are here. I'd like to give a first shout out to our Camden County Commissioner, Al Dyer, our Camden City Council members, our Council President, Ann Health Fuentes, Creamer Hill resident, Can I get a pic? Thank you. City Councilman Ward 2, my man, Chris Collins. NJDP, thank you, Assistant Commissioner, for coming up. David Hames, much appreciate your support. Thank you. The Salvation Army, Switzerland. Wow. I'm going to say that backwards. Wow. Thank you. General Andre Cox, Commissioner Sylvia Cox, thank you. Major Lolita Sanchez, Major, always a pleasure. Major Richard Sanchez, appreciate you all, you know that. Paige Salvador, U.S. Cold Storage. We Live Here Artist Collective, for all your support that you do. It's always stepping up in our community to spread positive love through arts. And Liz, thank you today for being a wonderful MC for such a great occasion. I'm delighted to take part in this the kickoff of the Salvation Army Kroc Center's 10th anniversary celebration. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years. Wow. But I can assure you the impact that this world-class facility has been truly transformational. I think the message for today is transformation. The Kroc Center has simply transformed this community, this city, and this region. Like many others, Al Dyer, Angel, I grew up in Kramer Hill. Grew up in this area about 3 blocks back, Wayne Avenue, 2825 Wayne Avenue. I still remember as a kid what this location looked like and what this location was in our community. This was a municipal landfill. It was a nuisance. It was a blight in the surrounding neighborhood. I didn't know at the time because we would just ride bikes through here. So for me, it was, we're gonna ride our bikes through all these hills, but as you get older, you understand the dire need for this to be transformed. Then from 28 applications, the Salvation Army identified Camden Redevelopment Agency's proposal as one of the 8 to be funded nationwide at the former 86-acre Harrison Avenue landfill. Since opening in 2014, the Kroc Center has hosted millions of visitors and has been a shining example of the progress being made citywide. Our hope for Camden's brighter and bright future. The facility is an anchor for the Kramer Hill community, a resource for our seniors, children, and their families. The Kroc even hosted President Barack Obama in 2015. That's huge. The Kroc has become a catalyst for additional development, and this community is a thriving community. Just look at the Kramer Hill Waterfront Park, Mastery Schools of Camden, Kramer Hill, Action Pack, the Harrison, the redevelopment of Ablage Village. These are transformational projects which has improved the quality of life for our Camden residents in the Kroc Center. You laid stake here first to allow all that to happen. So thank you so much. I congratulate all our partners today, the Salvation Army, the Kroc Foundation, US EPA, NJDEP, the Camden Redevelopment Agency, the City of Camden. They always say the greatness of community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions by its members. And you have been a great member for our community. Community always wants to feel a part of. Community wants to feel that they have ownership in, and you've checked that box. Community wants to feel like those people who serve care. You've checked that box. Community wants to feel that those who are serving and caring are committed to that process. You've checked that box. And for the last 10 years, the consistency you've had in this community, helping families, bringing resources, creating environments for kids, church, spiritually, that commitment and that consistency, you definitely checked that box. So thank you from the bottom of my heart as the mayor of this city for being a great teammate and making Camden the space, a better space, a better space, and a better space for everybody. Thank you. I'd like to come up to this proclamation. It's the part I love. Proclamation in recognition of the Salvation Army Camden Kroc Center 10th anniversary. Whereas on Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, the Office of the Mayor in the City of Camden joined the Salvation Army Camden Kroc Center in Camden, New Jersey, in celebration of their 10th anniversary. Whereas the Salvation Army has been serving the City of Camden since 1880 for an inspiring 144 years. Opening in 2014, the Salvation Army Camden Kroc Center was made possible by a $59 million combined capital and endowment grant from the late Mrs. Joan Kroc, widow of McDonald's founder Ray Kroc, as well as the support of hundreds of local donors and friends. Whereas the Salvation Army Camden Kroc Center's mission is to serve as a beacon of hope, an agent of change, to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in his name without discrimination. Now, therefore, I, Victor G. Karstoffen, Mayor of the City of Camden, do congratulate the Salvation Army Kroc Center on your 10th anniversary in the city of Camden, and I encourage all citizens to join in this celebration. Thank you so much. Back to you, Liz.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm serious. You're next, Commissioner. Commissioner Al Dyer to the podium. I think he's got some words and some recognition for the Kroc Center team. Come on up, Commissioner.
Good morning. Good morning. One of the great things, the silver lining in following the mayor, all you have to do is say good morning because he introduces everybody. And that's a great thing. So all I have to do is say good morning. I'm Commissioner Al Dyer, and it is an honor to be here today celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Kroc Center. Several years ago, at the time, I had black hair and I had a black goatee 10 years ago. And I was vice principal at Camden High School. And there was a buzz around the city that the Kroc Center was coming here. And I had just got promoted to vice principal and as coming from an athletic director. So I have an athletic administration background. So the buzz, everybody wanted this position. They was offering an athletic position here and I applied for the position. I got to the third interview. I was so excited. I'm telling my wife, I'm about to leave public education. So the last interview was on Haddon Avenue at the Volunteers of America. And I had that last interview and the piece of paper regarding the salary was passed to me. And just say, I stayed in education because that salary did not work for me. But over the years, the Kroc Center has been the epitome of a community center in Camden. I think everybody in East Camden has gotten their health in the right place being here because of the things that they offer for families regarding the gym, the fellowship, the athletic programs, the community programs, the educational program. This has been a great place for everybody. And if you look around, it appears to look the same as it looked when we did the tour 10 years ago. So as a commissioner, we are always thankful for people that come in the community in Camden, wherever in South Jersey and Camden County, and do something well for the community. And like I said, the Kroc Center has been that place for us. And I know the mayor continues to do what he do. And this is a pillar for him because you do events here, it's fellowship here, and everything that's well in Camden has been here at the Kroc Center. So on this day, now the one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to read this whole proclamation. However, on this day, from the Camden Board of Commissioners, October 14th, as your anniversary, right, 10th anniversary, we present you with this proclamation from us. Thank you very much. It's been a pillar in the community, and we look forward to another 10 years.
Angel Fuentes, I think you would like to step forward with a few words. Councilman Reverend Chris Collins, Council President Angel Fuentes.
Wow, reminiscent. I really need to say a big thank you, to what can I say, the big man, McLaughlin. You know, I remember going back to 2005, General, 2005, when we heard about this grant through Jones and her late husband, Ray Kroc. And as the mayor mentioned, back then, Randy Primus, who was the mayor of the city of Camden, was also the commissioner for the state of New Jersey as the Department of Community Affairs. Later on, Governor, I believe it was McGreevy, who appointed him as COO for the city of Camden. So along with him, back then, Mayor Gwendolyn Faison, God rest their souls, that passed away. And I was the council president at that time. And so when we heard about that this could take place in Camden City, I mean, I did what I had to do as city council, just approve the resolution. But Randy Primus, who was the force, he had a great relationship with the governor and with so many others. And so through CRA, at that time, Camden Redevelopment Agency, and they applied. There were 10 grants, I believe, nationwide. And so, as the mayor alluded to, that when we've learned, actually we were at the aquarium in 2006, and that's where they broke the news that we came number one. You know, when we put together this huge grant, and I mean, there are so many others who are here who took part of what happened in 2005 and 2006. And so we were so happy, so happy. I hope one day they can express to you the history back then and now. I mean, under the leadership of our mayor, Rick Stoffen, we're experiencing a renaissance, to be quite honest. But back then, you know, when you have a national newspaper that will say to you, who could live here? The crime was so out of control. And we needed something like this as Major Sanchez, your prayer. You know, there's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel, but a beacon of hope. A beacon of hope. And so since then, because of this, we have experienced a lot of good stuff in the city of Camden, especially in Creamer Hill. And so back then, when we've learned and they looked at this 88 acres of the Harrison landfill, I'm like, you know, and so Randy Primus reached out to the governor, DEP, and I'm so happy to see Frank here because he's like mi hermanito, my brother, and from a different mother. But he and I have grown so much. And so he was given the task to oversee the 88 acres of the remediation, this site, from State Street all the way down here. And I actually live a couple blocks from here. And when I come here, I drive here. I don't know why. But he, you know, I always see him. I said, what do you think? Is it promising? Does it look good? You know, I'm getting all these complaints or you know, because all the trucks coming in and out of our constituents. He said, I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so there was one time he was in this moon suit, a white lab suit. And I'm with the reporters and some of the residents just walking. And he sees me and he says, stop, you can't come here. But it was too late. But we're okay. Look, I feel good. Thank God. But Frank, I can't say thank you, you know, for what happened here and what happened at Creamer Hill waterfront. And so that speaks volume. And, you know, if you two decide to run for the president of the United States, I'll be your campaign manager, at least in Camden City. But he's a great man, and so many others who I can't, if I just stay here, although I am a member, so I'm not sure if that will give me a few more minutes. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that we are so grateful. Back then, we talked so much with Paul Kane, who was the mayor back then. And so there's a lot of hope here. There's a lot of hope. And I just want to say thank you for the tens of millions of dollars that went into this place, and even providing some scholarships or helping others, those who are in need. And let me end it with this. The 88 Harrison landfill, there were over thousands and thousands of tires. I mean, it was like a dumping ground, unfortunately. There were abandoned vehicles. There were even refrigerators. And even the old courthouse here, the old city hall. So I just want to say that I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. Especially the Kroc Foundation, to believe in the city of Camden when we were going through a lot of complexities, to now where through the leadership of our Mayor Vicar Starfin, hope. And we want to continue that path. And so because of what happened back then, and to have all those memories, and to see the people that walk in and out here, and all the events that you provide to say to our residents, not just in Cranberry Hill, throughout the city, and perhaps throughout South Jersey as well, that we're here to serve, and in a very spiritual sense, because people, when they walk in, need to understand, and I will say this because my mom has taught me saying this, is that God is not only a legitimate judge, but he is a truly divine and merciful God. And so that has always been my mission. And I know for many others. And again, I just want to say thank you. And I look forward to this weekend. I'm sure there will be some dancing. I'm not able to dance as much as I could, but I'll try. But again, I just want to say, on behalf of the governing body, City Council, thank you. So now I'm going to have my colleague who's a board member and from the Ward 2, Chris Collins.
I'm going to raise the mic a little bit. Angel always gives short words, so. We are certainly thankful, and we certainly praise God for the opportunity to have the Salvation Army Kroc Center here in the city of Camden. We are thankful for the leadership of our mayor as well as the Sanchez's for their leadership here at the Kroc Center. We will always be grateful for the Kroc Center, for how they serve the people of Camden, the many families that come here to the Kroc Center. We've had people train here to run the New York Marathon. We had the U.S. Olympic gold medalist wrestler here training kids in the city of Camden. We have the senior citizens that love coming here every day, and we are forever grateful for the many services that the Kroc Center provide to the city of Camden. People come and they fellowship, they have church, they are able to come here with their bereaved families and honor those that they have lost in their families. We are forever grateful for what the Kroc Center does for the city of Camden. And we will never forget how it was the Kroc Center that stepped up to the plate during times of tragedy during COVID, where we had great partnerships and thousands of people were able to come here to be vaccinated. So again, we thank God for the Sanchez's, for the vision of the Salvation Army Kroc Center, to the memory of the Kroc family. And we are so looking forward to this weekend so we can celebrate together and enjoy one another in fellowship. Thank you all, and God bless you.
We do have a resolution, so we'll make sure that this Saturday evening we'll provide you with that. Thank you on behalf of City Council.
All right, we have 3 things left to do. First, we're going to hear from Paige Salvador. Paige represents U.S. Cold Storage. U.S. Cold Storage is a great friend of the Kroc Center. U.S. Cold Storage, along with Holman, is bringing an enormous free event to the city of Camden on Saturday. And Paige, thank you for your volunteer work, your commitment to the Kroc Center, and for the really needed dollars from U.S. Cold Storage. Please come up.
Thank you so much, Liz. Happy anniversary, Kroc. Yay, 10 years, amazing. I am so proud to represent United States Cold Storage as a title sponsor, along with our community partners and friends at Holman. We're really looking forward to an amazing weekend with lots of events. You've all heard how spectacular it's going to be, and I hope the turnout exceeds expectations. So please spread the word and get as many people out here as possible. I have to mention that United States Cold Storage is headquartered in Camden, in our beautiful city of Camden, Camden Invincible. But it wasn't always headquartered here. We moved here about 5 years ago from Voorhees. And I started my job about 5 years ago, and I was tasked with corporate social responsibility, and I was thrilled. So one of the things that I did was to start to build a relationship with community partners. And it so happened that Ben and I were on a call together with community partners, and he was in the need of cold storage and some transportation. And he heard that I worked at United States Cold Storage, and the bells went off. So that was the beginning of our relationship, and the rest is history. And we were able to provide that cold storage and get those turkeys, keep those turkeys safely cooled until distribution. And it did involve our logistics team, and Keith Mowery isn't here, but I do have to thank him. He gave the green light. So there it began. But that was an important beginning. But it is the ongoing relationship, the warm relationship that we have with the Salvation Army that keeps us so committed. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we will have a large group of volunteers here to help out, and we're really, woohoo! Yeah, so they're not here with me, but they're looking forward to it. That relationship that we have it's not just transactional. It is founded in the warmth and the appreciation that we feel from everybody at the Salvation Army Kroc Center. And we don't need to clap, but let's silently acknowledge this incredible staff. I often say, we have our jobs that we do at United States Cold Storage. We're not here. But when I come here and we talked about the hope, I feel great because we have challenges, not just in this community, but worldwide. And that can weigh heavy on us. But I always feel better knowing that at least here and elsewhere, but I know firsthand here, all of this staff is making sure that they provide a sanctuary and that they send the message of hope. And it is because of that we know tomorrow is going to be better than today. And I want to leave you with just one last thought. Recently I read, or maybe I reread, a beautiful sentiment, a saying, and it said, "We're all just walking each other home." And if you believe that a little, or you believe it a lot like I do, I know that you're grateful that the Salvation Army Kroc Center here in Camden is part of that journey. And so for that, on behalf of United States Cold Storage, we thank you and we wish you happy anniversary.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you. All right, we're approaching the end. Where are my friends from We Live Here Artists Collective? So back in the day, if you look over here, you're going to see a piece of art hanging on the wall that was done by local artist William Butler. And the art from that painting has been the home for a lot of photo opportunities, a lot of gatherings, and it extends into the stained glass into the chapel. So when we were thinking about what meaningful thing we could do to commemorate our 10th anniversary, the idea was to commission a new piece of art. So we are going to unveil a beautiful piece of art created by We Live Here Artists Collective from the city of Camden. And we will hear briefly from Priscilla Rios after we take a look at the piece of art. So I'm told somebody's going to rip this curtain open and we are going to see this beautiful piece of art. So let's make it happen. So Priscilla, why don't you come up here with me? I know you love public speaking. I know this is the thing that you've been looking forward to doing. Welcome, Priscilla Rios.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Priscilla Rios. I am here with Brain Mortez and Donald T. Williams. We are the We Live Here Artists Collective. Thank you so much for inviting us to this very special day. We would be doing an unveiling for the collaborative art piece that reflects the journey of the Salvation Army from the beginning stage to its modern transition of creating a home here in Camden, with Catherine and William Booth forever looking upon us. We are reminded of the people that they have impacted, who have experienced an uplifting confidence towards seeing another day filled with empowerment, hope, and inspiration. When connecting with this piece, you can't help but to feel their embrace with open arms, seeing the fruition of their hearts and dedication of their dreams. Thank you so much to the Camden Kroc team for this amazing opportunity, for allowing us to collaborate together for this very special day. Thank you for the Salvation Army for this sacred place and the mission that helps our community. And thank you for my team for your hard work and dedication from the heart to the mind to the soul. Thank you.
You have a career in public speaking ahead of you, Priscilla. All right, I am overcome here. Ray Lamboy, Thank you to you, Ray, Carla Reines. Thank you to you, Yay, Joe Nardi. I did already thank you. Our elected officials, our supporters, our guests from far away, our DEP friends. I am overwhelmed. Last, thank you to my team, Thomas Boyd Communications, who's done all of this work, volunteer to bring this event together, to work with Ben, to work with Allison, to work with the Salvation Army team here. This concludes our program. We are going to move outside and cut a ribbon, ask the mayor and councilman to join us outside. Frank, your group, let's make it a big photo op out there. Thank you to all for being here today and for just making this day happen. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you.